Don't skip. There's a common misunderstanding that the most valuable human resource is time. But the deeper truth is this. It's the focus time keeps passing, but focus is what makes things happen when we give our full attention to one task. Even for a brief moment, we can make a greater impact than hours of scattered, distracted work on the other hand, when the mind is pulled in every direction. No amount of time is enough to produce results. Today's world is full of movement and instability. The economy fluctuates, technology changes constantly, crises strike without warning, as if the ground beneath us is always shifting. In that context, maintaining focus and calm isn't just a skill. It's proof of steadiness, of the ability to see beyond the noise and stay on course in the middle of the storm. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events realize this, and you will find strength. We can't control what happens around us, but we can fully control how we respond and where we place our attention." This video will give you 8 strategies to stay calm and focused in chaos. Because in chaos, clarity is what truly matters. But before we begin, do one simple yet powerful thing. Write in the comments below, "I control my mind," when you write it down. You're not just saying it, you're starting to live it. Number 1. Embrace emotional agility. Agility. A resilient leader is someone who understands that moment and knows when to pause. They don't suppress anger or hide insecurity. They face these feelings, acknowledge them, and then set them aside to do the right thing. This is emotional agility, a skill that keeps you steady and helps your team maintain trust and stability. Have you ever wondered why someone's silence and calm presence can command respect? Even cause anxiety in a room full of chaos? The person who remains composed silently sends a strong message of self-assurance. "I know who I am and nothing out there can shake me." The philosopher E.R. Epicus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. What happens to you doesn't." Define who you are. How you respond is what paints the picture of your character every time. Your emotions try to pull you away from yourself. Remember, you have the power to choose your reaction. That choice is what separates those controled by emotion from those who know how to control it. To do this, you need to practice self-awareness every day. Don't wait until emotional waves rise to suddenly ask yourself, "How am I feeling?" Start writing every night before bed. Sit down and record what you felt during the day. When did you feel angry and why? What did you regret? And what reaction made you proud of yourself? Your words will become a mirror reflecting your mind. The more you write, the more you'll realize most impulses are unconscious reactions, and a leader cannot afford to act on instinct without reason. Once Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, shared a moment when he realized the power of pausing during a large meeting. A team member strongly challenged one of his proposals. All eyes turned to Satya, waiting for his reaction. He felt his heart race discomfort. Rising, but instead of responding right away, he took a deep breath and paused for a few seconds. That silent pause calmed the entire room. Then he asked gently, "Can you clarify the point you're most concerned about?" Instead of arguing, he chose to dig deeper. The result, the team discovered a critical flaw in the plan, avoiding a major failure. But don't think silence is just a strategy. It's a mindset. It shows you're not caught in someone else's emotional trap. Disrespectful people often provoke you because they want you to react and lower yourself. When you don't respond, they're left feeling empty and insecure. On the other hand, your composure reminds them that control isn't in their hands. Remember, emotional agility doesn't mean perfection. Sometimes you'll fail, sometimes you'll say things you shouldn't. What matters is that you notice, learn, and do better tomorrow. No leader is strong because they've never made mistakes. They are strong because they admit them and keep moving forward. In the next part, I'll share something that seems simple, but is the foundation for maintaining emotional balance and focus, prioritizing both mental and physical health. It's not just about eating well or exercising, it's about the art of creating space for your mind to recover the place where every important decision truly begins. Have you ever asked yourself what happens when your mind is exhausted, but you're forced to make decisions anyway? We'll explore that next. Number 2, prioritize mental and physical. Prioritize mental and physical well-being. Well-being in times of chaos, people often rush to find external solutions, forgetting that the root of focus and emotional control lies in mental and physical health. A leader, no matter how talented, will become impulsive and lost if their mind is unsettled and their body exhausted. Stoic philosophy does not teach us to chase after circumstances, but to master ourselves in any situation. This begins with prioritizing self-care as a solid foundation. Seneca once wrote, "A man's as miserable as he thinks he is." This is a warning. Suffering does not come from the outside world, but from inner perception. That perception is directly influenced by one's mental and physical state. If you are constantly tired, sleep-deprived, and eat irregularly, your body will send negative signals to your mind at that point. Even small pressures can balloon into overwhelming fears, on the other hand, when the body is strong and the mind is consistently nurtured. You will see that even the harshest challenges are opportunities to practice calm and resilience. But how do you reach that state amidst countless worries? The answer doesn't come from complexity, but from discipline. In simple things, a quiet morning routine where you spend 15 minutes meditating, breathing deeply, and writing a few lines of gratitude in a journal is the anchor that keeps your mind from drifting. Don't underestimate the power of small rituals. They create stability and remind you that you can control today, no matter how chaotic the world is. In addition, learn to set boundaries. A person who can maintain distance is someone who understands the value of silence. Work should not consume your entire life. Don't check emails after work hours. Don't let unimportant demands drain your mind when you refuse things that don't serve your peace. It's not selfishness, it's a quiet but powerful declaration of self-respect. God did not create humans to endlessly chase the machine of work, but to live fully, mindfully, and responsibly towards themselves. If at times you feel overwhelmed, don't try to bear it alone. Even the strongest souls need support. Marcus Aurelius often consulted teachers and trusted friends. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, lived through an era full of upheaval, war plagues, and constant political ICAL schemes. The weight on his shoulders wasn't just the survival of the empire, but his duty to history. Instead of being consumed by anxiety, he chose to converse with himself through his writings in meditations, on long nights, after tense meetings, or when the camps were filled with unrest, he would sit down and write, "You have power over your mind, not outside events, realize this, and you will find strength." This wasn't just a reminder, it was a method to maintain clarity. He regularly meditated, wrote out his tangled thoughts, and unraveled them with reason. This repeated act forged his mind like steel, calm, steady, and clear. So when facing storms, his eyes said only one thing: "I am ready in the end, all efforts to control emotion and maintain." Focus begin with treating yourself kindly. It's not indulgence, it's responsibility. When your body is strong, your mind is calm, and you can look up and know there's a higher power watching over you. All the pressures out there become small waves crashing against a solid wall, and you, like a true Stoic, will stand there calmly with a silent but weighty gaze. I will not be subdued. Number 3. Foster a culture of trust and collaboration. Trust and collaboration in moments of instability when uncertainty looms. All eyes in the team will turn to you. They don't just look to you for solutions. They look for calm steadiness and the confidence that things will be okay. That's when a culture built on trust and collaboration is no longer a nice slogan, but the foundation that keeps the team from drifting off course to build that culture. A leader must understand that transparency is not a weakness, but a form of strength when you share everything openly. Even bad news, you send a quiet but powerful message of self-respect and accountability. The truth might make people uncomfortable for a moment, but ambiguity makes them anxious in the long run. Simon, a young CEO I once knew, went through a major financial crisis with his company. Instead of hiding the plummeting numbers, he stood in front of the entire team and said, "I don't have the answer right now, but I have all of you, and I trust our collective effort that transparency and trust help the team come together to find a solution and turn danger into opportunity." Simon understood one thing: a leader's greatest strength is not always is having the answer but never hiding the question. There's a quote from Epicus that I always remember: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." It doesn't matter what hits you: uncertainty, failure, or pressure. What really matters is how you respond when you respond with transparency and invite collaboration. You plant the seeds of trust, and when those seeds grow, they form a sturdy forest. Where people find peace even in the storm, the next step is encouraging contribution. The most dangerous thing in any organization is silence. Born from fear of being wrong, when you listen to small voices, you not only solve problems better,